there, duelists, and nautical lovers alike, as today we have sharks on the playmat. It's been a year since my last swim with these water-dwelling monsters, and everyone seems to be taking a dip into the sea. Sharks have had a huge boost with some extra extenders and some new extra deck options since my last profile. So let's see how deep we can dive, or whether this deck is just a bit fishy. Alright, so let's meet the sharks, of which I think only 2 monsters are sharks. First up we've got 3 Beautunaful Princess. Beautunaful Princess, nailed it every time. So this is one of the most expensive rares in Yu-Gi-Oh! At the moment. Nice, nicely done. So it's basically a kind of worse version of Lone Fire Blossom. When it's normal summoned, you banish it from the field and then you special summon a level 4 or lower fish monster from your deck. It's got great utility. Obviously in this deck it kind of searches out all of any combo piece that you should need, but most of the time it's going to be searching for the Buzzsaw Shark. So we're running 3 of that as well. So Buzzsaw Shark is basically your 1 card XYZ and the starter that you kind of always want to see. I'd actually considered running the new map card, which searches a 0 attack monster for the Beautunaful Princess, but I couldn't quite fit it in. But I definitely feel like, you know, if you wanted more consistency, then that would be a way to do it. Buzzsaw Shark, anyway, can target a water monster on the field and special summon a fish monster with a different level from your deck. So he's a great way of just putting 2 monsters on board and getting everything rolling. From there, running some extenders, so running 3 Silent Angler. So this is just an easy extender, so if you control a water monster, you can special summon it from your hand, but you can't special summon from your hand for the rest of the turn. So you've got to be a little bit careful with when you're using it, but it's a great extender and it's easily, you know, it's very easily used. From there, we're playing one of the newer cards. So this came out in Brothers of Legend, I think it was. So this is Silent Sea Nettle. So Silent Sea Nettle is very similar to Silent Angler. You can special summon it if you control a water monster. You can only special summon water monsters the turn that you special summon it. And it can also banish itself from the graveyard to shuffle 3 water monsters from your graveyard into the deck, which is kind of a decent way of keeping kind of resources where you want them. From there, I'm playing 3 Xyz Remora. So, I don't know, I think a lot of people are, well, cutting this card or reducing it or whatever you want to call it, but I actually think it's just a genuinely good extender. So detach 2 materials from anywhere, special summon it, and then special summon 2 level 4 fish monsters, fish type monsters in your graveyard. I suppose that's where you kind of got to be a little bit careful because the sea nettle is an aqua, not a fish. So I suppose there is that element, but I still think it's worth running. From there, I'm playing 2 Lantern Shark and 2 Water Tenyi Spirits. I'm not going to pronounce the names, so I'm just going to get it wrong. So Lantern Shark, I've seen a lot of people cutting. I think it's still worth playing. It is a hand trap magnet. You know, when it's summoned, you can special summon a level 4 or lower fish type monster from your hand. And that and Buzzsaw Shark can be treated as level 5 for an XYZ summon, but we don't do that anymore. And the Water Tenyi Spirit is just a Tenyi Spirit. It can special summon itself if you don't control any effect monsters. It's a great way of putting extra things on board. From there, playing the 1 Right-Hand Shark. So this can special summon itself from the graveyard if you don't control anything, and gives your XYZ monster battle protection. It's not great, and I think it's one of the cards where I'm still like, is it really worth playing? I've got it in for now, but I think it's definitely on the chopping block for me. From there, playing a few hand traps. So playing 3 Effect Veiler. So I think Effect Veiler is absolutely great in the current format. It's not once per turn, and targeted effect negation is super key. And then we're running 3 Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit. Again, I'm kind of trying to keep the cost down on the deck a little bit. I think Ghost Ogre is a really good hand trap, but woe betide me, if you were going to run, Ash Blossoms or whatever it would be, in place of this. Okay, and onto the support spells. Obviously this bit isn't exactly going to be very long considering how many monsters we were running. So we've got 3 Forbidden Chalice, so target 1 face-up monster on the field, gains 400 attack, and its effects negated. I think this has become really popular in, you know, kind of the modern format, which is interesting, really. Obviously, it's got some advantages, but I think the reason I'm kind of running it is because it's a budget alternative to the Impermanence. You know, I think it's just, I mean, it's a great card, and also it's not once per turn. So, but I think if I personally, I'd probably be running the Imperm over this. I mean, maybe running this and then having Imperm over the Ghost Ogres would be the way to go. From there, we're running a White Mirror. So this is once per turn, target a level 4 or lower fish type monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and you can add one of the same name from your deck to your hand. So it's a great way of double extending with Silent Angler, because you can, you know, summon the one from graveyard and then add one from deck to hand. So it's just a great card. From there, we're running 3 Pot of Desire. So this is going to just, you know, keep trying to keep pace with you know, kind of the more modern meta decks. And there's nothing really that we care about banishing. You know, you've only got the one right-hand shark, but if you banish it, it's kind of like, who cares? I'm running 1 Instant Fusion, 1 Upstart Goblin, and 1 Call by the Grave. So Call by the Grave, kind of, you know, that protection from hand traps. Upstart Goblin's just adding a bit of extra consistency, and the Instant Fusion gets you access to, you know, your rare fish sort of thing. I had considered, you know, bumping up the kind of the Instant Fusion kind of counts, but currently I'm just at 1. I think again, maybe the Upstart Goblin could easily be a ready fusion, but I think I'd rather see the Princess and the Buzzsaw Shark over another, you know, kind of Instant Fusion. And finally, we're running 1 Monster Reborn and 1 1-for-1. So this is the kind of 4th copy of your Princess, but it's special summon, so it's a great way of kind of, well, restarting almost after you've been disrupted, and Monster Reborn's just, you know, a generic extender. Alright, and so onto the extra deck. So we're running 2 Toadally Awesome and 2 Bahamut Shark to go alongside that. I have seen 3 and 3. I think that's quite a lot of space in the extra deck. I don't think it's necessarily wrong, but I think it's a lot. So obviously, Toadally Awesome can be summoned from Bahamut Shark. Bahamut Shark can't attack if it activates its effect. And it basically just summons a rank 3 or lower XYZ monster directly from your extra deck. And then Toadally Awesome can tribute an Aqua type monster from your hand or from your field. So that can actually be the Nettle if you've got it on field or in hand, to negate and set either a monster spell or trap. And then it recycles a water monster when it hits the graveyard. So you only kind of need 2 Toadally Awesomes, because you can recruit the ones when they get sent to graveyard. From there, we're playing 1 number 4 Stealth Kragen and the 2 Stealth Kragen Spawn. The way that I'm playing this, part of me feels like the Stealth Kragen Spawn take up a lot of extra deck space, and sometimes I don't end up using them. So the Kragen makes everything water. It can, during the main phase, it can destroy a water monster on the field, and that's non-targeting, which is great. And then if it's destroyed, you get to special summon Stealth Kragen spawns up to the number of materials that are attached to it. But the way that I'm playing it, often I'm using Kragen to go to use Remora, which means it doesn't have any materials on it. So I am considering just bumping Stealth Kragen up to 2 and losing the spawns. The spawns can then recur the number 4. So I don't know. I'm torn. It's definitely one where I think maybe just time will give me some insight, but at the moment I'm running with this. From there, we're playing the number 59 Crooked Cook and number 60 Dugares. So Crooked Cook is just our kind of, he's unaffected if you don't control anything else, and then if he's got a right-hand shark underneath him, he can't be destroyed by battle. So he can be a real grueler to get rid of. I don't think you go up to him that often, apart from to kind of get up into Zeus sort of thing. And then Dugares the Timeless goes quite well with Gagagaga Magician. So detach 2, and he can either draw 2 and discard. He can special summon one from the graveyard, which is the one we're using most of the time. He's got some battle effect and some other effect, but it's mostly the special summon from graveyard, because then you can special summon a Buzzsaw Shark back and get 2 more XYZ monsters. Get 2 monsters out. Go to Gagagaga Magician, special summon another XYZ monster, and then you've got, you know, you've kind of got 3 XYZ monsters on board, which is relevant. From there, we're playing the number F0 and F0 Draco Future and the 1 Divine Arsenal AA Zeus Sky Thunder. So Well, I mean, this guy, mostly, you know, it's just great. It's just a great card. Detach 2 to send all cards except himself to the graveyard. He easily goes on top of number 59 because they can't do anything to the number 59. It can just ram. It won't be destroyed. Can't do anything to it, so it's a great way of just plopping something on top of it. Utopic Draco Future, you know, I'm sure people have seen that, the combo where you put 2 Bahamut Sharks out, and then you've got 2 Toadally Awesomes. You go into the standard F0 from the 2 Bahamut Sharks, and then, you know, the Draco Future from the, you know, from that. We're playing the 1 Rare Fish, which has become quite rare from what I've seen, and the 1 Infinitrax Megaclops. I am playing the Megaclops just because I feel like it adds something that, you know, kind of the Draco and the Zeus don't. You know, it can put a lot of pressure on your opponent. It's a great way of getting rid of, you know, I think it's just a good way of extending. You can bring back Bahamut Sharks, attach a material from the opponent's side of the field, detach from the Bahamut Shark, then get a Toadally Awesome. It's just a good way of kind of going past that kind of first turn play. So, concluding, the deck is a lot better than last time. Number 4 is kind of the perfect monster to complement, you know, Remora, and White Mirror being a search and extender really lets you take a bite out of your opponent. So as for relevance, I'm going to go with a 4. It's still not perfect. The normal summon is pretty fragile, but you've got loads of ways to play now. As for the fun factor, the deck has still got, you know, spam rank 4 toolbox, which has always been a good time. Although the new Stealth Kragen package does eat up some of your extra deck, so, you know, you've not got maybe as many options as, you know, you could have. So it's a 4 for the fun factor too. I had this deck as a budget option last time. Alas, this is a much more expensive shark now. I've estimated the price at $230, and that's, you know, kind of not using some of the more expensive kind of like hand traps and, you know, going second cards. You know, come on, where is the Princess reprint, for God's sake? It was expensive last time, it's even more ridiculous this time. So, has the deck got teeth, or is it just a damp squid? Let me know, and thanks for watching.